a long labor of love for our organization, and we're here because all of you helped us get here. So I'm going to turn it over to our staff housing director, Leah Hall, in 1 second. But before I turn it over to her, I just want to acknowledge we have 3 of our board members here. Galen Malika is our board chair. Heather Robbins is on our board, and Regine Schulte is here. So 3 of our Three Rivers board members are here. And then I want to also acknowledge Megan Seeger, who's one of our housing staff and was in charge of the closing for the project. So Megan worked very hard to get us here. And now I'm going to turn over to the real expert on our staff, Leah Hall, who is our housing director.
Thanks, Jenny. To echo what Jenny said, thank you so much for being here. And actually, the first word on this that I wrote my comments because I have so much to say, I want to make sure I contain it, is the word journey. So this definitely has been a huge journey for us along with you. So Spring Creek II, you'll see a picture of this behind me. This was created in partnership with the City of Northfield, the City of Northfield's HRA. Due to our success with what you see here, the original Spring Creek, they wanted to replicate it. So Spring Creek II will add 32 additional affordable units to this 28-unit complex you see right here in front of you. This specifically will serve large families, but it will also be home to folks who have experienced the trauma of homelessness and for folks with disabilities. We have 2 service provider partners, the South Central Human Relations Center and Laura Baker Services Association, along with Rice County, really made the supportive housing element of this project possible. The project will also include 16 units of project-based Section 8 in partnership with the Rice County HRA. So we're extremely pleased. And as you know, there is a severe lack of affordable housing here in Northfield. So we're very, very thrilled that this project will play a key role in helping to meet that need. Although very great, this project will come closer to meeting that need. We are so proud of our project partners. We thank all of you, all of our project partners and all of our funders for really supporting us throughout this challenging project and really supporting us with the great lengths that Three Rivers went to really make sure that we can provide this housing to the community with the ultimate goal being serving folks with safe, decent, high quality, affordable housing. So specifically, I want to thank the Northfield HRA, the City of Northfield, the Rice County HRA, Rice County, Minnesota Housing Finance Agency, and all the folks who did some extremely heavy lifting over there. Minnesota Equity Fund, Sinair, again, some serious heavy lifting. Greater Minnesota Housing Fund, Blumenthal's Architecture, Weiss Builders, and Lloyd Management. And now, I would like to welcome the Mayor of Northfield, who's going to share some comments of hers.
Hi, Ronnie. Journey of love, is that what you said? Perseverance, survival of the fittest. I don't know what it was, but it was just a Herculean effort. And I first met Leah at our council chambers back in 2013 as a city council person when we were looking at this specific build. And that was a process. This was so much more of an undertaking. And I'm just so glad that we have you all as partners to help us get it done, because yes, affordable home ownership is really important, and everyone should have access to safe, affordable homes in our community. And not only safe, affordable homes, but our neighborhoods should be safe. They should be safe for people to be able to get from point A to point B, whether on a sidewalk or on a bike trail, or be able to make it over to our school. Our middle school is just right over there. You can't see it yet, but someday there's going to be a safe trail, so that the children that live here can get to the school. They can get to the parks. They can get to the local pool. There's so much that we have to do in our community. There's so much more than housing. Housing is really important. Safe, affordable, quality housing is really important. And neighborhoods are really important as well. And housing availability is one of the 6 strategic priorities that our City Council has in its strategic plan. And so this particular project here is serving a really important role of helping us to get to that level where we're meeting that key priority of the City Councils. I would also say, just to highlight a little bit more, and we have some HRA members here in the audience as well. Brent Nystrom, you're here. Sandy Gerdes serving a dual role here with LBSA. also serving on our HRA. We have Sean Allen, who's an interim city councilor. The city council is super excited about housing. Housing passes the city council anytime we have to vote on that budget. Hands down, everybody is behind it. Housing is so important, and the city council and our city staff that are here, Melissa Hansen, also here too, our housing coordinator, just really backing this project, and so grateful for all of you being here. Our Northfield HRA provided just over 2 acres of land and a forgivable loan for just over $500,000. The Northfield City Council approved tax increment financing for an additional $689,000. And we're right there at the table, and just really appreciative every time you needed something that you asked, because we are so behind this project in ensuring that all ages, all abilities have access to safe, affordable homes in our community. So thank you so much for all that you've done to make this come into play and get it to this point. And I'm excited to one day not only walk that neighborhood, but walk this neighborhood and see children outside playing, smell supper on the grill, see friends and neighbors out chatting. It's just going to be a wonderful addition to our community. So thank you to all of you that helped to make it happen. Thanks.
Yes, this project wouldn't even have been a thought if it wasn't for the City of Northfield, so thank you very much. Next, I'd like to invite Dana from the Northfield Affordable Housing Task Force to say a few words. So our project also came out of the task force. We were connected with the Laura Baker Services Association and others who wanted to see some additional supportive housing. So.
Great, thanks Leah. My name is Dana Norvold, and I'm a part of the task force. I'm also the director with Habitat for Humanity. And housing is my gig. I love talking about affordable housing, but more importantly, making it happen. The Northfield Affordable Housing Task Force, Jenny likes to say that we started in a bar 6 years ago. That's not entirely true. It was a lounge that no longer exists. It could have been a bar. And then we got kind of big, and so we gathered together stakeholders, realtors, nonprofits to just begin talking about what are the housing needs that we're seeing. We can read all the studies, all the consultants that come in and tell us that we need affordable housing. But we started 6 years ago really intentionally bringing people to the table. Really happy that Three Rivers was there. And it's really that kind of networking and that relationship building that helped shape what this project is. You used the words journey and challenging. I bet you used other words along the way of this project. This is probably it was a challenging project to begin with, but then there was the pandemic and the cost of construction. And so she listed off the partners. You could probably name a bunch of other people that are in supportive roles. But to make affordable housing happen, it takes a lot of partnerships and it takes a lot of work. It doesn't just happen like that. If it did, everybody would be doing it. So I'm so grateful that you guys hung in there, bent over backwards, and probably did some other gymnastics to make this happen. But you're gonna have 32 new families that are gonna have a place to call home here. And exactly what you talked about, all the things that we maybe take for granted every day are gonna happen here for some new families here. So we're really grateful that Three Rivers is a real community partner with all the other agencies here. So thank you so much for your guys' work. Thank you.
So as I mentioned, the project will also have project-based Section 8, which is a huge benefit to the families we'll serve. Those folks that will be in the project-based Section 8 units will only pay up to 30% of their income. So very important for a lot of families that we'll be serving. Rice County also provided us with some ARPA funds. When we hit a snag, to say the least, with construction pricing, they stepped up along with the City of Northfield to really help us out. So I want to welcome whoever is here from Rice County to come up. Sarah. Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Well, we actually have a whole group of us here.
Oh, great.
We have Joy Watson, our HRA director, who's
there
instrumental. Helped with, bringing the Section 8 vouchers forward and other items to the board to help move this along. We also have Commissioner Galen Malika, our economic development coordinator, Kathy Felbrugge, and our CFO, Paulo O'Connell, who took care of all the details on getting the ARPA funds, which I know it took a little bit, but we got it done. So we're very grateful for this project to be happening up here in the Northfield community. The board is really supportive and looking for ways that they can help advance getting more houses, affordable housing, workforce housing in for individuals and families in our county. So we're really happy to see this project going, and hopefully it'll be a springboard for more as we have all these successful projects going on. So thank you all for your work and your partnerships. I'm really looking forward to seeing when this is completed and all the families move in. So thank you.
So this project was funded by multiple entities, one of which is a tax credit syndicator or investor. And we have John Arago here from Minnesota Equity Fund that will be talking a little bit about his role.
Thanks, had to switch glasses there. So I'm John Arago. I'm the Director of Equity Investing with Greater Minnesota Housing Fund. And we're gathered here today to celebrate the closing of financing and start of construction for Spring Creek II, which will provide 32 units of needed affordable housing here for the workforce in Northfield. I'm here representing GMHF, which provided pre-development financing for the project, and then Minnesota Equity Fund and our strategic partner, Sinair, we made a $5 million investment in the project. But this isn't about me or GMHF or MEF, it's about everybody else here. I can't tell you the number of times that I get a new pro forma and I wonder, how is this thing ever going to keep going? And like what is happening? And I mean, we knew that the market was super dynamic with pricing and everything else, but it shows the level of commitment that everybody here had to the project, that every time something went south, it turned back north again. We're here on a beautiful summer day, and you would think just by the ambiance here or something that this project went off without a hiccup. But as you all know, that would be totally wrong. The reason we're standing here today is because of the tenacity and the energy and the sheer will of Three Rivers and the city and the HRA and countless others to overcome a seemingly never-ending barrage of bad news. And all of this was, of course, completely out of anybody's control. Increasing interest rates, check. Higher construction costs, check. Problems structuring the financing, check. A world in which things were moving so fast that every time you thought you had a problem solved, another problem came up. And it was kind of like starting to feel like that movie Groundhog Day, where we were reliving the same day over and over again, and only incrementally moving forward. But Three Rivers and the city and the HRA and everybody else here persevered. And now we're here. We're not at the end of the story. We're celebrating the end of one chapter and the beginning of another chapter. And the end of the story will be when we have a grand opening and families move into these new townhomes. This is really critical for the well-being of families here in Northfield and for the state of Minnesota overall. We have a terrible shortage of affordable housing of all types, but affordable housing especially throughout the state. And this project is a small step in the right direction. Three Rivers, you're a tremendously valuable partner of GMHF and a partner to the state creating this affordable housing. I thank you for that. I want to thank the city and the HRA for their leadership on affordable housing. That doesn't happen in every community. It's clear your commitment to affordable housing just by the fact that we're standing here today. I've said that every project worth doing dies at least a few times before it actually happens. And by that measure, this is the most important project we have ever done. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you. And just the barrage of bad news is really quite something. But one thing, John and his team, GMHF, MEF, Sinair, I think everyone had a really good sense of humor, the best of our abilities all the way through. So I really appreciate your leadership. So next, I'd like to invite Sandy Gertis from Laura Baker Services Association to talk a little bit about her role in the project.
Well, I'd like to start by saying we are so excited
to see groundbreaking on this project. We started a journey to find ways to provide housing for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities before Spring Creek II was in its infancy, and we are so grateful to Leah and to Chris, who were willing to have some vision with us, who did a lot of learning to figure out what the requirements were, and who invited us into the project from the start. All of the partners who made this happen, Minnesota Housing Finance and Rice County and the Northfield HRA, we just really appreciate being a part of this and being able to bring people with intellectual and developmental disabilities to this project. We had been working with other partners trying to create integrated, affordable, accessible housing for people with disabilities. And on behalf of the people we support and their families, who've been asking for this, thank you. I've already had people say, when can I apply? So we're looking really forward to getting to that point where we can start to make it happen for folks who've been waiting for a long time to make this happen. It's been a long process, and like I said, we started on this in 2014, and the families, there are families who've been waiting all of that time to see this developed, and so we're delighted to be able to say that the next step is happening. We're not in holding pattern any longer. This is a beginning. It's 4 dedicated units for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and the need is great, as you've heard, in many areas, and we will continue advocating and working for more solutions for people with IDD to find affordable, accessible, integrated housing. Our dream, their dream, is to create paths to home ownership. By including people with disabilities in this project, you have moved this dream one step closer to becoming reality, a place to call home. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sandy. So Minnesota Housing was not on the agenda as a speaker. I won't ambush you, Sarah Woodward, but I do want to introduce Sarah Woodward to the group. She was really the one who ushered this project through Minnesota Housing's process, and it was an extensive one. So we thank you for being our champion very much. Thank you.